Emily sneered and directed her gaze at me as she declared her resignation. I maintained a silent gaze in return, unfazed by Emily's contempt. We're streamlining to reduce labor costs. We don't need someone exploiting overtime pay like a hag in our company, Tom expressed, appearing satisfied with the decision. A week later, my phone kept ringing with calls from the company. As I answered, the president questioned my identity, to which I responded with a mocking laugh. I am Lily Johnson, 59 years old this year. I've dedicated 37 years to this company since graduating from college. We specialize in providing administrative scriveners, social insurance labor consultants, and tax accountants for clerical work, catering particularly to busy company presidents. I manage 45 clients in the tax department, handling their bookkeeping and tax matters, I explained to the president. Despite having a part-timer for accounting entries, the workload remained overwhelming. Troubles arose as Tom and Emily subjected me to insidious harassment. Tom, 7 years my junior and now the head of the tax department, displayed a drastic change in attitude after his recent promotion. He spoke condescendingly, accusing me of slacking off during work hours and dismissing the importance of my tasks. Emily, Tom's assistant, joined in, suggesting that I work more efficiently to avoid falling behind. Their harassment persisted despite my efforts to explain my dedication to completing both regular duties and additional tasks. Tom's anger flared up, criticizing my overtime work and deeming it a waste. Emily, echoing his sentiments, sighed and accused me of dragging down the entire tax department's performance with my constant overtime. The reason for the previous day's overtime remained simple, yet the harassment from Tom and Emily persisted. Yesterday, after work, Tom dropped a bombshell on me. He had accumulated a month's worth of declaration forms to be filed by the month's end and suddenly handed them over, along with several client files, as if it were an afterthought. My complexion turned pale as I surveyed the files. Wait, do all these have deadlines this month? I exclaimed in confusion, but Tom had already disappeared without a trace. Spotting him, I noticed he was already packing up at his desk, baiting a quick take care before swiftly exiting the office. Emily followed suit, laughing mockingly as she left. Exasperated, I sighed deeply and opened the client files left scattered on my desk. To make matters worse, some of them fell under Emily's responsibility. It dawned on me why Tom was subjecting me to such harassment. They'd wanted me to retire quickly. With more experience and deeper knowledge in taxation than Tom, other members of the tax department often sought my guidance instead of his. Moreover, Tom's unapproachable demeanor and unsavory reputation further alienated him from the team. It was evident that Tom's intentions weren't pure. He preferred younger female employees, like Emily, perhaps aiming to consolidate his power by having them rely on him. The realization sent shivers down my spine. Emily, in her attempt to curry favor with Tom, resorted to undermining me, likely seeking a favorable evaluation from him. Despite the mounting workload and the certainty of unpaid overtime, I resigned myself to the task at hand. I had to manage the declarations, knowing full well that claiming overtime would only draw complaints from Tom and Emily. Then, one day, I received a sudden summons to the president's office. Our company had recently undergone a change in leadership, with the former president falling ill and passing the reins to his son. As I entered the office, I couldn't help but notice Tom and Emily, both wearing unpleasant smirks, their presence raising questions about the purpose of the meeting. In the tense and peculiar atmosphere, I muttered quietly, ensuring no one else could hear. Suddenly, the president's voice cut through the silence. Lily, we'll need you to resign by the end of this month. Excuse me, what do you mean? I asked, my mind spinning with confusion. I had heard whispers from Tom and Emily about alleged overbilling for overtime. According to them, other members of the tax department clocked in about 15 hours of overtime per month, while my tally soared over 80 hours. The president, stern-faced, found it suspicious, especially since Tom and Emily reported zero overtime. I knew the truth. My overtime surge was due to handling Tom and Emily's workload, a fact I couldn't outright blame on Tom without implicating myself for poor time management. I haven't overbilled for overtime. It's a result of not being able to finish my work within regular hours, I explained, sticking to the facts. The president sighed deeply. I'm doubtful, but without evidence, I won't pursue it further. However, we can't continue to employ someone who works at such a slow pace. I want you to resign. His mind seemed made up. I felt the weight of his decision to dismiss me from a company I had dedicated 37 years to. Exhaustion washed over me. Despite going above and beyond, my efforts were never truly acknowledged. Instead, I found myself burdened with Tom and Emily's responsibilities. Yes, I understand. I'll resign at the end of this month, I replied, realizing I had already made peace with the decision. As I left the president's office, Emily's vulgar smirk greeted me, her words dripping with disdain. Tom echoed her sentiments, content with the cost-cutting measures. Watching them chat cheerily, I contemplated the handover process, already drafting documents for my clients. I made it a point to bid farewell to each client personally. For those I couldn't meet, I sent letters informing them of my successor. A week after my resignation, I finally found time to relax at home, having been swamped with handover tasks. Just as I began to unwind, the company's persistent calls disrupted the peace. Reluctantly, I answered, only to be met with the president's puzzled voice, questioning my identity. I couldn't help but laugh mockingly at the irony of the situation. Now an unemployed woman, having resigned from the company, I found myself questioning my identity. Whom am I? Just an unemployed lady with nothing else, I mused. However, the president's urgent call disrupted my contemplation. He revealed the company had received 49 calls to halt transactions since my departure and pleaded for my immediate return. Feeling a sense of obligation, I reluctantly got up and headed back to the company. Upon my arrival, I found Tom and Emily waiting for me, their faces pale and marked by dark circles under their eyes. Surprised by their drastic change in appearance, I inquired about the situation. Tom glared at me and revealed the ordeal they had been facing since my departure, calls flooding in to stop transactions not only from my clients, but also from potential companies they had planned to introduce. Puzzled by their accusations, I asked what I had supposedly done. Emily, expressing disbelief, remarked, I never thought Lily would do something so underhanded. I'm truly disillusioned. Their haggard appearance suggested they were grappling with the cancellations. While I hadn't taken any action against the clients, I had a suspicion as to why transactions were being canceled. Acknowledging the inevitability of cancellations, I muttered my thoughts. Tom, becoming agitated, accused me of wrongdoing and insisted I head to the president's office. There, Tom forcefully declared my presence to the president, with Emily following in haste. The president, eyeing me seriously, inquired about the reason behind the surge in cancellations after my departure. Taking a deep breath, I explained, our clients don't need us to manage their taxes. There are more cost-effective tax accountant firms. They continued with us because I was here. Tom snapped at my assertion, challenging my value, while Emily taunted with skepticism. The president, ignoring their comments, delved into the dynamics of our work. He acknowledged that Tom and Emily operated based on the manual, optimizing operations, while I went beyond, offering tailored tax-saving strategies that many clients preferred. Tom and Emily argued that my approach was time-consuming and inefficient. The president sighed deeply and revealed a call from the former president, his father, who had negotiated directly with some clients that had stopped transactions, inquiring about my role in the situation. I was taken aback by the unexpected turn of events. Dad revealed that the tax department owed its viability to me, not only for managing my clients, but also for supporting my colleagues. He emphasized that my knowledge surpassed Tom's, and had I not declined a higher position, I would have been above the department head by now. The president, wearing a pained expression, expressed regret over my resignation and asked if I would reconsider. Emily, clearly shocked at the revelation, couldn't fathom the possibility of me being her superior. The president apologized for making me resign and sought to revoke it, echoing his father's strong recommendation. While I was pleased with the president's change of heart, I hesitated to accept the offer. Before I could respond, Tom interjected angrily, refusing to accept that I could be considered better than him. Emily joined in, praising Tom's qualities as a boss and expressing her disapproval of choosing me over him. However, the president sternly addressed them, revealing the numerous complaints received from the tax department since my departure. Tom and Emily had been pushing their work onto others, a fact they vehemently denied. The president, with a look of disgust, disclosed the leak that accused Tom of shifting the preparation of client declaration forms onto subordinates, including taking credit for Emily's work. The roles seemed to be reversed, and the president sighed, exposing Tom's hypocrisy. As Tom and Emily turned pale, the president continued, mentioning another leak about their alleged romantic involvement. Tom, stuttering, claimed he was merely mentoring Emily as her superior, but the president produced dining expense receipts, questioning the nature of these outings. Tom, sweating and unable to respond, and Emily, ghostly pale, faced accusations of neglecting duties, inflating expense claims, and engaging in an affair in violation of company policy. Calmly and straightforwardly, the president declared their employment terminated as of that day. Tom and Emily attempted to plead their case, desperately resisting their termination. Tom, with a plea to retract the expense claims, emphasized his family's dependence on him. Emily, on the brink of tears, expressed her remorse and willingness to apologize to me and others for the excessive workload and the affair with her supervisor. I advised them to stop resisting, pointing out the undignified nature of their actions. Tom, frustrated, retorted, claiming I, as a single person, couldn't understand. I reminded him that he was the reason I got fired, and it was just karma catching up. Tom seemed visibly upset, and Emily bit her lip, likely worried about her reputation and the severity of being fired for professional neglect and an affair. When I hinted at more misconduct by Tom and Emily, they frantically tried to stop me. Despite their pleas, I gave them an ultimatum, emphasizing that wrongdoings eventually come to light. At my words, both collapsed to their knees, and ultimately, they were fired on the spot as I revealed their misdeeds, including Tom faking business trips, harassing employees into quitting, and assigning work with tight deadlines. The president was furious and expressed anger at cutting their final salary. Plans were made to thoroughly investigate past inflated expense claims. Tom begged for mercy, tearfully pleading with the president not to cut his salary, fearing the repercussions for his family. Tom and Emily's affair was exposed to Tom's wife, leading to divorce, and they now faced claims for compensation in the divorce lawsuit. In the aftermath, Tom reached out to me, seeking persuasion for the president to reconsider their firing. Tom and Emily struggled to find new jobs in the insular tax industry, and financial difficulties led them to work day labor at construction sites. Emily, in moments of despair, reached out to me for help, expressing regret for her actions. I firmly told Emily that her predicament was a result of her own actions, emphasizing that one cannot undo past mistakes. Despite Emily's cries of despair, I stood firm, knowing that she had to face the consequences of her choices. As for me, I decided not to return to the company, enjoying a relaxed lifestyle away from work. I occasionally assisted at a friend's tax office for some extra income, contemplating starting my own office in the future. In my second life, I aim to be on equal footing with my clients, fully dedicating myself to their needs and pursuing what I truly wanted to do in the service industry. The story concludes with a sense of anticipation for the new chapter ahead.